What's up, world? Welcome to the Nola Rowe Experience podcast. I'm your host, Nola Rowe.
Oh, I'm here too. What's good? What's goody? It's Mr. Melee. What's happening? How you feeling?
What's going on, Melee? I feel like I haven't asked you how you're doing in so long.
You haven't. That's why I just had to say,
Is that the reason why you look down, like you're walking around with your head down? Because I haven't asked you how you're doing?
That's part of it. To be honest. No, I'm good though. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
good.
Great.
Great.
So I'm really into color therapy. I'm a color person.
Okay.
So with this top on,
yeah. How are you gonna be down with that top on?
Exactly.
Like how?
Wait, you're matching the microphone.
And
I
that.
am.
And
Listen,
that
it's
part.
a lot going on.
That part.
So for the people who are listening, who can't see, you just heard a voice. They're probably like, "Who's that?" Right?
Hi guys.
So we do have this beautiful woman here, Ramona. Please introduce yourself. I was gonna do a whole thing, but I'm just gonna have you do it.
You can do it. Hello, I am Ramona Hamm, and I am here on the Nola Experience. I feel so delighted to be here to share my story. My name is Ramona Hamm. I've been a traveler for most of my life, and in the past 3 years, I started a group called Black and Latino Traveling Singles, just because I got tired of being the only black person out at events. So I said, hey, let me start this group, meet some people, get some of my people out, and here we are.
Awesome.
That group
That is cool.
is lit.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know how I ended up in that group. I really don't.
Let's talk about
because
it.
anything that says singles, I usually don't tap in. So I don't even know how I'm in the group, but I do remember going in, and obviously when you're new to a group, you introduce yourself. Mm-hmm. So I did an intro, and my inbox blew up.
Wow.
And I was
that's
like,
a lit group.
Guys.
They sneaky with it though.
It was that type of inbox blown up.
So you'll think the group is quiet and
what are you talking about? That type of inbox?
Like they slid in the DMs, or
Right.
your inbox just blew up. Like it's a difference.
What's the difference?
It's a difference.
I'll explain.
Sliding in the DMs is a difference from your inbox just blowing up.
How?
So sliding in the DM is more romantic, sexual?
Yes. Like if they slide in, if you respond to something and your DMs just get slitted it in.
Okay, so
that's a difference from people just hitting you up.
No, we mean just hitting up.
Yeah.
No. Some sliding in might happen later.
Yeah, because it's the slide
Ramona,
that makes the difference.
I don't want to disappoint you about your group members, but they were sliding in my inbox.
I knew it. You see?
Some of them are freaky. I know.
You see?
You know what?
You see?
It's so funny that one time, the picture that I posted, right, with the intro or whatever, this guy, because let me tell you what I said. I remember what I said, right? Because it came up in my memory. I said that, hey, my name is Nola, da, da, da. I would say that I like long walks on the beach, but I've never done that. So,
so of course you got, I could take you on a long walk in the beach. Girl.
So this one guy said, hey, Nola, are you single or something like that? And another guy responded to that comment saying, no, she's not. She's with me. Don't know him from a hole in the wall. Don't know him from
saucy.
Nowhere.
Aggressive.
So now I had to jump in there real quick. Like, I don't know this dude. And I was like, listen, this is cute. I guess you're probably being funny, but it's not funny. Don't do that. Because
Right.
he was like responding to people like a gatekeeper.
I wonder who it was. I bet you there's one troublemaker we have in there that does stuff like that constantly.
Okay.
I think the troublemaker you're talking about is probably not him. Does he live in DMV area?
No, this one lives, he's from Ghana.
Oh.
He lives uptown in the
Is he like a
Bronx.
personal
Tall,
trainer?
light-skinned.
Oh, no, not him.
No, he's not a trainer.
No. Okay. So, you know what? This story.
We're about to put people on blast.
Yeah, right. Y'all putting people on blast. Now they're gonna check in the group.
Exactly.
Ghana.
So this tall, light-skinned guy from Ghana, I don't even know who that is.
He's the group troublemaker.
That's funny.
As soon as a
But
new
you
person
have-
introduces themselves.
You have multiple group troublemakers, though.
But this is the one who's been around since we started.
Okay.
Like
Okay,
3 years.
He's the veteran troublemaker.
Yes, the veteran
The
troublemaker.
vet.
Okay,
Alright.
gotcha. But I did, not in person, online, meet a couple of really dope people. People have purchased my ebooks. People have been to my workshop. So
Keep passing
Awesome.
me your info. I'll keep
yeah,
posting it. How we do.
beautiful.
Yes,
We all
I
support each
appreciate
other.
that.
Beautiful.
So, we wanted to talk about one thing that I did notice is a lot more people are traveling now. So this conversation is really about travel.
Yes.
It sounded like it was about just
the single part,
right?
Yeah.
But it's really about travel, and we wanted to have a conversation about travel. Well, actually, our producer, he was like, "Let's talk about travel," right? Because even though a lot of people are traveling, we do feel like there are some people who feel like what's happening in my hood, that's it. And you really do not understand that your block is not the only world until you go somewhere else.
For sure.
And then you're like, like a new part of your brain unlocks.
Facts. Right. That's a fact.
And I always ask everybody, because I want to know your motivation behind getting into this. So why did you even decide that I'm going to be traveling and then I'm going to bring, all of these people along with me?
Good question. So I've been a free spirit all my life. So I would have to say travel was born within me. My dad always took us on car trips in his big old Cadillac we called Betsy. So we were always doing little trips on the weekends. My dad worked a lot. He was the captain of corrections. So when he had his days off, we all get in a car. I have 4 brothers, 4 sisters, and we go somewhere.
Wow.
So we didn't
That's
always
a big Cadillac.
Yeah.
But also
we called her Betsy.
also a pricey trip.
That is a pricey. I mean,
Daddy
hey,
had a good job. He was all right.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
I've always been a free spirit. My dad has always instilled in me that spirit to learn something and do something new. So I guess for me, it's always been a part of my life. So I was never one of the kids who just wanted to stay on the block. I was always, off on my own exploring. Even if I went somewhere with friends, I would end up, oh, did you guys see this? And they're like, yo, we're over here. All right, whatever, guys. I was always the one wandering off. So I think I was sort of born with that wandering soul.
I love it.
That's awesome. So was there like a day that sparked this endeavor? Like, was there a moment that you were at an event or something and you were like, yo, I need more of my people here?
Yes. Well, I have been in the advertising industry for most of my career. So I spent 20 years in media advertising sales. And when I tell you I travel all over the world and have a dope experience, but literally being the only black person in a room in a lot of places that I went, or going somewhere and they think that you're the help, even though I'm like, no, I'm the executive who put this together.
Wow.
These are my people. Being able to work for a company where you're allowed to be exposed to a lot of things and travel, I've had some great experiences, but at times it gets lonely. You want your people.
Sure.
Right.
I don't care where you are.
Like they don't get the joke.
Right.
Yeah, they don't get the joke.
You want to be around your people, even if they're not from America. I mean, I remember one time I was in Australia, and this is before travel became really popular.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I literally felt like I was the only black person in the universe. And I'm on a beach, and I'm having a good time. And this Samoan man starts walking down the beach. So I don't know if you know how Samoan men look.
Is it Jason?
They look very, some of them
Is
look
it
very
Jason?
African. Some of them look very African. So I was like, oh my God, a black man. So my goofy butt walks up and I'm like, oh my God, it's so good to see someone like me. And he was like, where are you from, Jamaica? I'm like, no, I'm from New York, but you're the first brown face I've seen since I've been to Australia.
Is he in the group?
No, he's not in a group.
I thought it was somebody else. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was like, you're the first brown, because I don't know if Samoans consider themselves black. I don't believe so. And we just started kicking it. And like, he took me and introduced me to his friends. And I was hanging on a beach with them. And then I was just like, you know what? I can't be the only black person going to all these offbeat places.
Yeah.
Now Australia's on everybody's list. Like,
Right.
but back like 20 years ago, really people weren't.
Because
really
at that
out
point it
there
was just
doing
Miami.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
I go to
Yeah,
all
tell
these
me
places.
about it.
I'd be in London, Paris, Australia, doing all this stuff, and I'd be like the only black person. And it was so funny when I was in Australia. I went to this coffee shop, and it was this student studying, and like literally we both gave each other hot eyes and hugged each other. She was like, I'm from NYU on the student exchange. I was like, girl, it's so good to see you.
That's awesome.
So 20 years ago, before more black people were out there doing it, you get that feeling like you just want to see someone that looks like you.
Yeah.
You just want to be around your people. Even though I'm having a great time, I'm learning their culture, I'm on my business trips, I'm meeting excellent people, you still want to feel that camaraderie and see people who look like you no matter
Even
where
at home.
Yes.
So I get it. You go to a place where it's just you. You see somebody, you don't hug, but you
I hugged her. I'm not gonna.
But you do have
got
that
that free
moment where
spirit.
it's understood. Like,
Yeah.
And so one day I was at work and I was like, you know what? I can't be the only Black person who travels. I mean, there's other quirky, goofy people like me who are out in this world. So I started the group, and I started the meetups just one meetup at a time. First, it was one person showed up, 3 people showed up, 20 people showed up, 50 people showed up, and then it grew. And then we all took our first trip together to Jamaica, and it's been 3 years now. 2 of those years were during COVID, but like we still were able to do things together to stay connected. And I have to say, the people who joined the group the first year were probably more like family now than like random people who met each other on social media.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So what was your hands down favorite destination?
Hands down favorite. I think I have
Like the top one.
who is right now the tie is between Ghana and Bali.
What's the reason?
And I will tell you my love for both. So Ghana is the first place I've visited on this planet where, when I say it felt so good to see Black faces on billboards everywhere you went,
all Black
there
everything.
were people. I've never experienced that in my life. I've never been to a place where my color was not a threat and I didn't feel attacked.
Oh, wow.
Now, don't get me wrong, there's still the cultural isms between
Right.
Westerners and West Africans. There's a difference in culture.
Right.
But it was the first time I experienced my skin wasn't a threat, and like people weren't staring at me because they were scared or whatever. So it was very freeing. Ghana was very freeing for me to be in a space where you can just be you. You're not, that Black girl or that Black executive or that Black. You're just Ramona because everyone else has that skin color.
And
until I speak, many of them thought I was Ghanaian. And they would come up to me speaking Tree, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm from New York. How you doing?
Wow. Oh, my goodness. That's
so
beautiful.
Ghana was probably the first place I've ever experienced in this world in my 40-something years where I didn't have that weight of being Black on my back. And if you're Black, and you know what I mean, it's such a burden that's lifted from you. And I think a lot of us Americans, we don't know how burdened we are by it because we're so used to the torture of living here like every day. Till you go to a space where that's not your burden anymore.
You're like, oh shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
A weight just lifted off of me.
Right.
And I didn't even know it was there.
You don't even know how heavy it is till it's not a thing you're carrying anymore.
So what about
That's so
Bali?
true.
What is it about?
Bali.
It
Bali.
seems very different.
2 very different places. Bali, I would call Bali the backyard of God. I've never been to a place that's so spiritual. When I tell you, like, I get chills talking about it. I went to Bali at a time when my dad had just finished his chemotherapy. I was at a very low point. I was going to actually cancel taking people with me because I just needed to repair my soul. And the people there are just so loving, so friendly. You got to pinch yourself because you don't think they're real.
Like, are y'all faking it right now?
Right, they're just the most pious, down-to-earth, unpretentious people I've ever met in my life.
Wow.
Bali is a place where the water is so fresh. It's like literally come out, the spouts are right out. You drink the water and you feel no pain for like 3 days. People think I'm kidding when I say the water there re-energizes you because it's so pure. So in their temples are usually around water holes that they've protected for all these thousands of years. So there's no pollution, no anything. It's just pure water, praying over it. The monks are like playing the I don't even know what they call it, the temple, and like your brain is just vibrating on a different level.
Wow.
So when I tell you, I feel like Bali is where God was like, this is where I'm going to put my people who revere me. I've never been to a more holy, unpretentious, spiritual place in my life.
Wow.
And I don't mean religious, I mean spiritual.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're tapping into the source.
And then, like Ghana, the Balinese people are not racist. They haven't picked up the European. You know how you go to China, where
sure.
you pick up European thoughts on Black
colonized
people?
energy.
Yes.
Bali doesn't have that. That was the second place on earth where, like, you'd see a white person come in and be demanding, and the Balinese people would just be like, no, I'm serving them first. I will be with you shortly. And that was refreshing. And I actually cried while I was there. We was at this So Bali is another place where I didn't experience a lot of racism until, again, I came in contact with Westerners when I went to a 5-star hotel. And, of course,
they brought their energy with them.
They brought their energy, and I was just like, well, you guys could just move because I'm going to be me. And then our tour guide was just like, we don't do that here to the white people. And I was just like, thank you. I love it. And I had to pull him aside and like say to him, like, thank you for that. This is only the second place on Earth, literally on this big planet, where I've not experienced that adopted Western racism.
That's powerful.
So for me, Ghana and Bali.
Now, on the opposite end of that spectrum, what is a place that you like, don't go?
America.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, yes.
My goodness.
But Ramona, I mean, we're all here, you know, most of us, and we watch TV, we walk down the streets, we know what's up.
Yeah.
But there has to be a place where you're like, they don't like black people here, to the point where I don't feel safe.
America is the place that I feel the least safe. It is the ghetto of the world, in my experience. Like, you don't know until you experience other cultures.
Yeah, I hear you.
I have not been to South Africa, so I have not experienced their racism, but I have to imagine it's similar to ours. In all my travels, you know, I've been impacted by racism everywhere we go. You can't go anywhere on this planet where it's not bad. But I would say the worst treatment I see of black people is here in America. And the more I travel, the more I don't want to come back to this country, because I know there's better ways of living. And once you relinquish that burden, coming back here, it's like torture.
I think that makes a lot of sense because of the slave trade. That would make a lot of sense, because this was like the hub.
Yes.
There were so many places, because I'm from Guyana, not Ghana people, Guyana, South America. Slavery was everywhere, right? But there are certain people certain places where it was so pronounced that it became ingrained in every fabric of the culture, whether it's socializing, even in your house. You go to school, you go to church, people don't want you in certain stores, they're following you. So I definitely understand how it could be deeply embedded here.
Because it's beyond the slavery part here. It's like systems were built here that oppressed us. It was like a way they took it way further than being
it's
slavery.
Still going on today.
Yeah.
But it's so ingrained and it's such a fabric of the culture here that I have African American friends. I'm like, be safe. Why are you going there? And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I have a higher
with the amount of dudes that are shot like,
here or raped
true.
here walking down the street in
goodness.
Brooklyn than I'll do anywhere I go.
I did not think you were going to say that I was shocked.
Me either.
But it does make
America. So the more I
sense.
travel, the more I would say I see America as the ghetto. But don't get me wrong, I'll give America this. There's no other place I've been to where no matter who you are, you can make money here.
Yeah, that's it.
You can make money here. America is the main place you come to make your money. You invest and then you leave.
I literally said
so for all my
yesterday.
American friends who have like not experienced any other culture, and we're very blinded in our Western way of thinking. I had to learn to unlearn Western ways of thinking and being to see how damaged we are here. Because you don't see it when you're in it. Just like being in an abusive relationship. You think that's the norm until you experience otherwise.
Right.
Wow.
Beautiful. Well,
Boom.
it's...
Sorry I took it so deep.
No.
Bali and Ghana, my type too.
See, the depth is important because that's a part of why traveling is important, right? And that's a part of why we want to make this conversation very loud so people can understand that little struggle that you're going through, or that big struggle that you're going through, it's not everywhere you're going to have that. You can leave.
Right.
You can leave. But there's this structure set up that kind of makes people feel like, I can't go anywhere. It seems like the hardest thing in the world to pack your shit. Sorry, guys. To pack your things.
No, it's true.
And just go somewhere else where you're accepted, where you have peace of mind, where you're breathing better air, eating better food. And your kids can feel like, you know what? I can go outside and actually play for real without the worry of, it's not even just racism. People are getting snatched. It's a lot.
I mean, that's everywhere. So the racism, the slave trade is everywhere.
Yeah.
All of that you have to watch out for. But for my Black, Latina, or even American travelers, I say travel not just to go to all-inclusive. go ahead, travel, have your one day of tourist stuff, but also learn other cultures.
Yeah.
A lot of Americans just travel for the leisure part, and they'll stay at an all-inclusive and like, oh, I didn't like this place, or I love this, but you learn nothing of the culture.
But you based it off of that one location.
Of that one hotel.
That
which
usually
is not
doesn't even
representative-
reflect.
Right.
Exactly.
Not representative of the culture at all.
Of that
so
place, yeah.
my second thing I love for all travelers to do, by all means, is your money you saved up, do that. Take a day or two and get off the beaten path. Leave your bling, your Western way of thinking in the hotel. Go with a tour guide. If you're me, I love to go off on my own, but I've been doing this for a long time. Go off on a tour guide, blend in, and learn the culture.
That's what I love to do.
Sure.
But I call it, I like to go to the hood. That's what I call it.
Go to the hood.
Nothing wrong with the hood. Just don't go there blinging.
No,
Yeah.
Don't wear
Blend
your
in.
jewelry. Don't take no cash with you.
Don't be loud. Don't be that American where I'm like,
No.
I'm going this way.
Because there are some places, if they're going to take something from you, they're probably taking a body part along with it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah,
Sure.
other countries don't play. Like
Some people,
other countries don't play.
Yeah,
Is
people around-
there a place? Where's like a place would you say for beginner travelers to go? Like if you're just getting started in this.
I say indeed, start in America. There's 52 states. There's so many places to visit here. If you want to just overcome that fear of flying, overcome that fear of being alone. From New York, go to Vermont. Go to New Jersey, go to Cape May, go to Maryland. Just hop on a train, hop on a bus, hop on a quick flight to anywhere that has a sail, and just get your feet wet and experiencing things on your own.
Very true.
I like that answer because one thing that I pay attention to when I travel is how traffic works, how driving works, how cars are rented. That's one of my things because I typically like to have my own ride when I go certain places. But anywhere you go in this country, you can drive.
Right.
The rules are the same.
Right.
The roads are very similar. When you leave the country,
It's a whole different
Yeah,
ballgame.
yeah.
that's the whole thing. So that's how you know that there's a general structure here that keeps you safe, if you may, depending on your standards of safe. But the driving thing is.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about safe and what Americans think of as safe. So we live in a country where there's a mass shooting just about, unfortunately, every week.
Right.
And America will do these warnings, and I tell people it's not always based on the safeness of the country. It's based on politics. So let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Some of the warnings are based on politics.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, use your inner conscience. Use the same safe-o-meter you use when you're walking out your door in Manhattan. You can basically go anywhere in the world and something happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
But
could
be
happen in your
smart.
house.
Right. So do you want to always be that person living in fear to say, hey, I've only been to Miami, I've only been to Niagara Falls? Or do you want to be that person that said, oh my God, I remember that time I went to Italy and we got lost and them little hood boys on the block was following us down the block, but they showed us where the good pizzeria was.
Yeah.
And they invited us to mama's house and we had a party. Like, that's how you learn. You got to
That's
take
true.
those
Yeah.
risks. And part of risk is fear.
Yeah.
But you can always be safe if you keep on that same thinking cap that you use in New York.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's a very different perspective. So you mentioned learning. What is one thing out of everything that you just said, other than those things that you just said, something that you learned traveling that people, usually don't think about?
The one thing that I learned, and I probably tell everyone, is leave your Western mindset at home. I mean, use it because we've learned skills. We know how to adapt. We're hustlers. We
Yeah.
know how to get out of a situation. But try to leave some of what you heard about other places here.
And your expectations.
Yeah, expectations. I mean, I can't tell people not to have expectations
Yeah.
because if I'm going on a trip, I'm having an expectation I'm going to have
I
fun.
think the reason why I say that, I feel like a lot of, especially American people, they will go to places expecting
It
that
to be America,
this is
right.
going to be
Yeah.
So
what
let's
I'm,
talk
what I'm,
about
what
that.
I'm used to.
Yeah.
So we went to Cuba, and Cuba literally is 100 years behind every other country I've been to.
Whoa.
I don't want to call it a third world country, but they are literally stuck in time. And we went with some of my dashing divas and guys who are used to luxury travel. And there were days when the power went out. There were days where there was no, and these
Water?
are at hotels. Well, not hotels because Americans are not allowed to stay in Cuban hotels, but at nice establishments.
I didn't
we
know
rented
that.
out. Yes, politically, we are not allowed to support the Cuban government in any way. So if you travel to Cuba, you cannot stay in any governmentally owned property.
Okay, gotcha.
So we stayed at
What?
hostels or private homes and things like that.
I was about to say, wait, hold on, what?
Wow.
So
Okay.
Cuba
I didn't know
literally is a third world country where the people are beautiful, but the government does very little upkeep. So there were
Right.
days where there was no electricity, days where there's a shortage on food. So they all get cards for one day is milk day, one day is egg day, one day is beef,
Bread.
chicken day. So you're going there as American tourists and you just want everything to be at your fingertip. And no, if you want to drink, they're actually slicing lemons out of the tree, cracking the coconut open. Like they're doing it old school style. Because you're not at the 5-star hotels where they
Right.
have all that
Sure.
at your convenience. So be flexible. Don't be that diva that's like, oh, I'm used to this and I'm used to that, because that's it's the way you set yourself up for not experiencing the full culture.
And I guess if you want that, if you are one of those people who you want to just be somewhere different, but you want all the frills,
Right.
then you do your research
Sure.
and you figure out where can I go,
Right.
To be bad and bougie.
To be bad and bougie.
And that's true. You have to know the country. So
Yeah.
on Bali, we had some people who, they wanted to turn up, but Bali is not a turn up place. Bali is a place where you go to reconnect.
and centered.
Center. It's about spirituality. And there's fun. We did the swing. We found a little American bar on the beach.
Yeah.
But it's not the place where you're like,
You're not twerking and
it's
trapping
not a
here.
turn up place.
Yeah,
People go
yeah.
there for different things. So you do have to be receptive to what you want to experience. So when I book people, because I'm a travel agent, I'll say, what do you want to experience? Is it a birthday? What do you want to experience? You have to know what you want to experience in order to choose the destination you're going to. So like I'll have people say, oh, I'm having my 35th birthday. My friend said we should go to Turks and Caicos. And I'd be like, no, I wouldn't recommend Turks and Caicos for a birthday if you want to turn up. If you want to rent a house, have a bonfire and your people with a private maid, and that's Turks and Caicos birthday. But if you want to turn up birthday, let me send you to Jamaica. Let me send you to Puerto Rico. So you got to know the vibe of the
Yeah.
destination or know what you want to experience.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you feel about cruises?
I am not a big cruise
I
fan.
had a feeling you were going to say that. I had a feeling.
But I'm not going to lie. That new Virgin Voyage ship was all adults.
I saw that.
So they gave us travel agents a little peek into it. And baby, let me tell you, I might be doing my birthday there next year in July. So save up that money.
I love that. And you know why I was drawn to that? Because being on their flight,
Oh,
It was-
yeah.
oh,
my
Virgin is
goodness,
top
their
notch.
it was a whole
flights.
I was like, hold on.
It's top notch.
Yo,
I was so sad when they stopped coming
Virgin
to America.
Airlines
I love
is
it.
Top notch.
crazy.
I've met so many stars flying on Virgin, going to London back and forth when I used to
I
work for
love
this British
it.
company. So cruises, me personally, I know people that love it and they've been able to see a lot of countries just from going to different ports. But for me, that's not the way I like to experience things. For me, I like to be on land. I like to mingle. I like to get lost. When you're on a cruise, you don't have time for that.
Sure.
You're at port. They'll give you a few hours to experience a country. It's very regulated to tourist areas because you have to be back in time by the time the boat is
catch it,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't feel like you can get a full experience. They have very segmented places for people who come
You
off
like
on
your
the tours.
freedom.
I do.
Yes.
You like your freedom.
I don't feel like you can get the full experience on a boat.
Yeah.
You can because they're going to put you near the little touristy spots.
Right.
I don't think you get that full immersion with a boat ride.
Yeah, but I think you've had enough
With a cruise.
experience to figure out how to navigate.
Yeah. Sure.
And for
Sure.
the novice, maybe stay near the boat.
Right, right.
Never
For
boat.
beginner travelers, I think cruises are perfect.
Yeah.
because you can get 3 countries in one cruise. They're taking you to the hot spots, so you're just learning.
Yeah.
That's great.
And for some people, that's okay. They're
Yeah,
like,
My grandmother loved it. She did.
Yeah.
She did 3 cruises per year, and that was her
Whoa.
thing.
yeah, I don't need to be down
That's her
no
thing.
alley getting followed by
Right.
Italian guys.
Some
Like,
people just want that. They want
Yeah.
that fun. They want the party. They want to say, okay, I met a little bit of locals. I'm good. I got my little souvenir. I'm good. Some people want that. So it all
Yeah.
depends on what type of traveler you are and what you want to experience.
all right, so Ramona, what is hands down the most incredible thing? Not necessarily an experience, but thing you've ever seen abroad?
The hand down the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna have to say Bali again, and this is gonna be simple.
So
Hey,
we
that's
going to
what it
Bali?
is.
We
Yeah,
clearly going to Bali.
It's on my
It's
bucket
the
list for
peace.
sure now.
Like, even they have stray dogs and stray animals all around Bali, and even the damn animals are nonviolent. Like, they'll come up to you and just be like, and if we're here in New York, a random free dog run up to you, they're gonna take a bite out of you. I was in Bali, and I'm sorry, this air conditioning, and I was just like, even the animals are peaceful here. Let me see the single most beautiful thing I've ever
Incredible.
seen.
It could be beautiful. It could be just
Cuba. So we went out to the country land to be presented to their religion. They practice Yoruba there. So what I love about Cuba, unlike American slavery, they were very much able to incorporate their culture.
Right.
So Cuban culture is African culture.
right.
Even though like the faces of Cuba, you'll see light-skinned Hispanics or white people.
Yeah.
There's so many black people in
Of course,
in Cuba.
absolutely.
And they were able to embed their culture so deeply in Cuban culture. There's no Afro-Cuban there.
Right.
You're Cuban. Even though they have racism,
Yeah.
they don't separate themselves by where we came from. They're Cuban, and that's how they see themselves. So we were there. We were learning the deities of the Yoruba religion, and they gave us this presentation with food, and like we're all in it, and they were doing the dances. And while we're all there, you could feel like the spiritualism.
Right.
Like you feel
Because
you
energy
feel godliness,
shifts,
right?
yeah.
So like we're all feeling the tingles from this presentation and this dance and the prayer they're giving us, and it started to rain. Like,
Wow.
There goes Oshun.
and we were just like, we all started crying. It was just such a blessing because they're giving us this welcome ceremony. They're dancing. They gave us all this like homemade food, and it started raining. It just felt like such a cleansing process. So I would probably say that's one of the most beautiful things I've experienced while traveling.
And what about food? Like the most.
girl,
What's the most unusual thing you've eaten?
Australia, I ate some alligator, kangaroo, and it was disgusting and rubbery. I was out in the outback, and they
Australia, why are you
barbecuing.
eating kangaroo?
Kangaroo, alligator, they eat everything. If it breathes, they'll put it on the Barbie.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm there. We were outbacking somewhere in Australia because we're going to Ayers Rock, and there was like this tent. They have like this tent where you can stay out in the desert, and those out guys were killing things and putting it on a Barbie, and that's what we ate, and it was disgusting.
I'm glad you said it was disgusting.
I did not enjoy
why are we eating kangaroos? Why?
Yeah.
Kangaroo, alligator,
You know what?
snake, they will fry and barbecue
I'm not gonna
No.
lie. I had alligator one time and
in New Orleans.
Florida.
I had it in Florida too. Yeah.
And-
I had it in New Orleans, and they know how to do it in New Orleans.
Okay.
Now you making me think, was it Nola? But the fact that it was alligator was messing with my head.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't enjoy this because we go to a show, we watch people play with alligators, we watch them fight them, do all of these different things, and then when we go to the gift shop, you're serving it.
Wow. Yeah.
Something about that just didn't
it's
sit right with me,
disturbing.
and I'm like, they had it in like nuggets form, like little
Yep.
bits. And I'm like, nah, I can't eat that.
Well,
I can't. But
Australia, I had kangaroo and
so you mentioned Jamaica as like, I
Hot
think this
spot
was
for ladies.
off camera.
yeah, this was off camera.
This was
okay.
off camera.
The juiciest destination.
Oh, really?
But where have you seen like hands down the sexiest people?
I would have to
Like
say,
everywhere you go, you're like, yo, I might move here.
Zaddy?
Oh, Ghana.
Oh,
He said-
Ghana?
Ghana.
Wow.
Jamaica too. The men in Jamaica, but sometimes they a little bit aggressive.
Jamaica.
The men in Jamaica, you gotta like give them some of that sometime. But the men in Ghana, they're very health conscious, very family oriented. It's I hate to say this, it ain't like dating an American man. The men in Ghana, like I feel like if I moved there, I'd probably be married in a year.
Wow. They get right down to business.
They don't play. They're about we're dating. You're going to meet my family. The projection is you're going to be my woman. We'll
Period.
get married. They don't play.
Period.
They don't play. And
You know
they're
what?
hot.
And I think that was one of the things that turned me off. Not Ghanaian men, a Nigerian man.
Oh, my ex-husband is Nigerian girl.
Can I say what I have to say?
Say it.
Because, listen, I went to an event. A friend of mine invited me to this fashion show. He was Nigerian as well. And this guy, he saw me from across the room, and I could see him, like, coming across. And I was like, what's happening? So he comes over, and he's like, my name is, we introduced. He's like, I'm going to go to the bar, get some drink. You sit down right here.
Yeah.
And the way he told me to sit, I was like, I'm going to have to get out of here. I'm going to have to leave.
Unfortunately, that is quite
And I had to tell my
commonplace.
friend, like, I'm going to have to leave. I left.
Yeah.
I
'cause
bounced because I felt like now
He
I'm
won't
possessed.
let up. Yeah.
If I tell this guy I'm leaving, what's going to happen? Like, are you going to follow me?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not feeling this energy. These guys are a bit much.
I would say that's true of all West African men.
Oh, my
it's not just
goodness.
Nigerians.
Alpha male.
Ghanaians a little bit more laid back, but they have that possession
Yeah.
over woman's attitude as
He
well.
said, sit down. I was like, whoa.
Nigerians
buddy.
are just a little bit more coarse with it.
I'm going home. So what about weirdest or wildest culture? Like, what's just something super weird or wild that you've experienced within
I would
culture?
say Paris. And them Europeans is down with some sex parties, coke. It's like anything
Of course
goes.
they are.
Have you gone to the party?
I've been to some parties where I done had to leave because I was just like, this ain't sitting right
too
with
So
my
how did you
soul.
get invited?
Because I'm friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the type of girl, I'll go to a country and like 5 minutes within being in the country, someone's saying hi to me. I don't know if I have hi written on my forehead or
Yeah.
talk to me written on my
Yeah.
cheeks. I can be minding my business. Someone will be like, oh, hello. And I'm just like,
Do you want
"Hi."
to come to a party tonight?
I don't know what it is. I don't know if I was born with a flashlight or candle on my head.
So you
but
go to the
I meet
party.
people. So how did I meet I met a French guy.
No?
No, he wasn't
Mon
cute,
ami.
but he was helpful.
Okay. He wasn't cute, but he was helpful.
He spoke the language and he lived there. I forget what he was from, Gambia or somewhere. I don't remember where he was from. And I was like, hey, it's my first day in Paris. Couldn't find my hotel. He helped me find my hotel. And I was like, where are the parties? Where are the underground parties? Like, I like underground
Right,
parties.
me too.
I don't want to do the touristy stuff.
Me
Where
too.
the locals going to get it in? And
Yeah.
he took me to a party and I met people. And
So let me ask you, was this a regular party initially?
I think no, it wasn't ready. You knew it was, so it was like under somewhere and we had to like go through some like basement alleyway.
But does
Wow.
he say like sex might jump off in this party?
No, I think it's just a given for them there. Like Paris is different.
Okay.
They're very sexually open in Europe.
But you didn't know this when he invited you.
No.
So you go
yes.
there, you walk through
Us
the alley.
Americans are very uptight about
yeah,
sex. They are
sure.
not in Europe.
Sure.
Okay.
They are not. So at a party, you could see some things in Europe.
So you're in the party, you're drinking, bopping
in the
your
party,
head.
drinking, looks like a regular party. You go to another back room and something else going on. And you're like,
Wow.
well, hey now.
At this, so
I
you
didn't
go
know
to
that
the
this
bathroom,
kind
you
of
see
party.
something going on. At this point, you're like, okay, somebody's just doing it, but this is not reflective of the entire party.
No,
so I'm still hanging out.
There's rooms with different themes in them.
Whoa.
And I think it's common in a lot of their parties.
So
or
Ramona, I
underground
mean,
parties.
you're in Europe. You know what I'm saying?
When in Europe?
You're in Paris, the land of
When in
love.
Paris.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all know I don't like to share. So when people doing stuff in public, I might look, but I ain't participating.
Yeah,
If I
I
like
feel
you,
you.
I'm gonna take you to my hotel
I feel
room
you.
and we're gonna do something.
I
But
feel you,
I
I
don't know.
feel you.
I'm a voyeur. I'm
Yeah.
not open and
Yeah.
active participant in big orgies.
I feel you. I feel
But
you.
to each their own. I don't judge. I'm
Yeah.
like, he
So the
look
party
good, that
didn't-
look nice.
The party was a dub. You were like, you know what? This
No,
is
it
not-
was actually nice, but then like when people get too drunk or taking too much drugs, like you can feel the shift in the
Yeah,
vibe.
start to
and
shift,
when
yeah.
the vibe shifts, I'm out.
Yeah.
And at this point, you might be on the menu.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look
This
at
is
Black
what I say, people
American.
Travel, experience things, but listen to your intuition. When your
Facts.
intuition
Sure.
tells you something, listen.
Did
to
you
it.
tell him you were leaving?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He took me back to my hotel.
Okay.
Oh.
So I was just like, I've had fun this time. Listen to your intuition.
All right.
Yes.
And I've always followed that when I travel.
I love it.
So I don't judge people. I like to go out and see things and experience things because It's good to find a little underground
I
parties.
love it.
But when your vibe is telling you it ain't
If
for
it
you,
doesn't feel right,
listen.
be out. All right.
Yeah.
So for the people who want to travel, need guidance, where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on social media, or you can call me anytime. Actually, I am on hiatus. I have my travel agents under me booking. So, but you can find me on social media. My Instagram is Black Latino Travel NYC, and on Facebook is Black Latino Traveling Singles. And my name is Ramona Hamm. You can hit me up in the inbox, and I will connect you to some of my agents who work under me. I'm on hiatus for a few months, just recuperating. But I love to connect with anyone who wants to travel, and if I can't help you, I give you to someone else who can.
I love it. Okay. So we're about to jump into segment 2. And usually when we switch or we pivot energies, we kind of like to take a deep breath.
Okay.
So we're going to take a deep breath.
I'm going to try with my allergy nose.
Doesn't that feel different already? All right. So segment 2 is the SOA Q&A.
AKA general question.
Where our producer asks us questions and we have to answer them, right?
Okay.
We don't know what the questions are.
Let me take a quick sip of water.
So during this segment, he's going to ask the question and we repeat the question. So,
I'm not shy. Let's go.
all right. So we ready?
Awesome.
Ready?
Yep. Oh.
So this is the
SOA
Q&A,
aka
adrenaline question of the day.
Woo-ha!
Who would be a better travel partner, Cardi B or Michelle Obama? I don't like that question.
That's such a good
I
question.
feel like Michelle Obama has insight into all of those places we probably don't even know exist. But Cardi B would hands down be funnier. 'Cause Cardi B makes me laugh so much just looking at her face. Sometimes she'll say something, I'm like, she seems like a lot of fun, but we probably end up in trouble at some point. You know what?
That's a good thing.
You know what? Michelle Obama, I think traveling with her, it would be more than travel. This is somebody that I can actually ask certain questions that I wanted to ask her before this question came up. So, Cardi B, let's try next year. But
We see you at the barbecue party.
for now, I'm going to have to go with Michelle Obama.
Good answer.
Don't sleep on Michelle. She got a wild side too. She just
Yeah,
don't
she
do it
looks
in
like she
public
can have
me.
fun.
No,
She's a private wild
She does
person.
do it in public, but in a subtle way.
Yes.
Yeah.
She look like she would have
Yeah,
a lot
Michelle
of
looked like she had fun behind closed
Yeah.
doors.
Yeah.
And I read her book. So that made me
I haven't read it yet.
that made me love her even more. Yeah.
Good answer. Okay, if I could create a city, who would be my mayor and what would be my first cost of action? I would be the mayor. It's my city. So no question about
Good
that.
answer. Good answer.
Here
Good
we
answer.
go.
My first course of action would be to set up laws of decolonizing the mind of all people who enter.
Ooh.
That's a good
So
one.
if you want to come to my city, you definitely have to go through the process of letting go of what you've
Wakanda
learned.
forever.
Yeah, and then we can welcome you in. You'd have to go through a
Yeah,
detox
y'all gotta go through a
Oh.
racist test.
and it's not just white
Mental,
people.
social detox.
It's
Just the
everybody.
decolonization
Yeah,
of the
it's
mind
true.
of us
Yeah.
black people
That's
and what
true.
we've been taught, and some of that is very ingrained into who we are, and we don't realize that
Absolutely.
we're fulfilling a prophecy that ain't ours. So
True.
yes, I would have to have like a
Harsh.
detox or a reprogramming before they can come into the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be too deep sometimes.
No,
Sorry.
that's-
Yeah, we could party, y'all.
Great. That's great.
Go deep. We love it.
Would I rather travel solo or with a group? Definitely with a group. I have I ever traveled? Yeah, I traveled solo before. It's cool. I'm good. I'm good being by myself, but I like being around people, especially if it's people that I know and love. I definitely rather travel with the group so we can, share those experiences and then talk about it after, talk about it from years to come. So yeah, definitely rather travel with a group of people.
If I was born anywhere else in the world, where would I choose? According to my DNA profile, I am about 40% Ghanaian. So it seems like my bloodline came from there anyway. So let's go to Ghana and
Go, girl.
see some black
Go.
people on billboards.
Yeah, lit.
You'll love it. So what is my favorite part of learning a new culture is food. I will travel anywhere to eat and experience food. I'm a fat girl. I like to eat. There's nothing more intimate than finding a local person who will prepare a meal from you. You know it's coming from their soul.
Wow. Yeah.
They're showing you their culture. They're showing you how they interact with their family. And when I travel, I always try to find intimate moments like that. You really learn a person's culture through their food, how they present it to you, how they interact with their family and make you a part of that interaction. So the best way to learn a culture is through their food.
Oh, wow.
I don't think you said the best place you've had food. You said the worst.
I've had good food everywhere I've been. Where did I not like food? Oh, London. Oh, they don't know how to cook. I had to find me some Nigerian restaurants when I was in London. The traditional London food is like sausages,
Fish
potatoes,
and chips.
and it just didn't sit well with me. That was the one
Banger
place.
and mash.
Yeah, that was the one place where I went where I was just like, damn, they can't cook. So yeah, I found my little Nigerian and Indian restaurants when I went to London. So I've been told now that, it's better there now because they have more international restaurants than 20 years ago when I used to travel. But yeah, the food in London.
If I could pick up and travel on an all expense paid trip, where would I go? Obviously, I'm going to say Bali. After everything we've been talking about today, I definitely want to experience that. I think that's where I'm at in my life right now, to experience things like that, like what you were talking about, the spirituality and getting into, just that full abundant peace.
The calm, chill.
Yeah.
Would you take Cardi B with you?
Hell,
Don't do it.
No. No.
Not that trip.
Not that trip. But yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, if what you're saying is what it is, then definitely Bali. I would love to experience something like that.
I would tell everyone on earth, go to Bali at least once in your life. Like, I really feel like it's God's back door where he was just like, let me just dust off some blessings here.
I love it.
The place
beautiful.
is just,
dope.
the people are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's not an overly expensive place.
Beautiful.
Okay, Bali for sure.
Beautiful.
Let's go.
I mean, it takes long to get there. The biggest drawback is how long it takes to get there. That's it.
I've taken long flights before. It'll be all right.
I love it. Okay. All right. Listen, it was such a pleasure having this conversation with you. That was such dope energy. So let's shout out BLTS one more time.
Yes. So big up to BLTS, Black and Latino Traveling Singles, New York. If you're looking for something to do, you don't have to be single. We have lots of married couples who just like to come out. We're your home away from home. We're on social media, but we actually do meet up in person. So look us up, come out, introduce yourself, bring your wife, not the kids.
Bring your kids.
But come on out and meet us. Like, we're in New York. We do things together. We're more like a family than a group. So Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for being
I'm
here.
grateful for what you do.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, I think, our producer said initially why we did this episode, the world is bigger than your block. And for the people who are skeptical or need guidance, they can also contact you for guidance. And do you do consulting for travel?
I do.
Okay, perfect.
I do a lot of individual trips. And I'll tell people who are afraid, just leave your neighborhood. Even if you don't have money to do something immediately, find a national park and walk through it. Even in the Bronx, they have hiking paths that are absolutely free where the rangers will take you on a trip. Go hiking. Do something new and let that child in you come out again.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mele, any last words before we...
Go to Bali.
I guess I'm going to be booking his trip.
Yes.
Go to Bali.
No. It was great. Thank you so much. I think everything you said, it was on point. So
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm always open to share. So.
Yes, make sure you guys stay tuned for all of our other episodes. Don't just listen to this one and disappear. Tell a friend. If you love podcasts, share it with another person. And we stream everywhere you like to cast pods. But if you like to watch podcasts, YouTube and Spotify are the places. Other than that, I think we're good. I think we're done, guys.
Thank
nice
you once
meeting
again.
you all.
Much love. We appreciate
Get out.
it.
Go travel.
Peace.